Welcome to another episode of On the Spot, and I am continuing on in our lighthouse painting. You might notice if I start doing these paintings, I start posting them a lot sooner because I get more into a painting, especially want to finish it, and I just feel like, once I start something, it's kind of a goal to see if I can get it done. Not a challenge, and it's actually nothing like you shouldn't have to feel pressured as an artist to try to finish something in a hurry or something like that. I don't want to really give you that kind of impression that you have to do that. But at least for me, I like to, once I begin a work, especially a video or something, I like to just continue with what I'm doing here. So a lot of this is just filling in some color, filling in the ocean, trying to make sure this is, as steady as possible without shaking it too much. The horizon line where the ocean is. It's probably one of the trickiest parts to do when you're doing something like this, because you want to make sure that is, straight and as much as possible. So as you get that line, the ocean line, where you look out and see the ocean. So you have to, like I mentioned before, there's a lot of things you have to do to prep for, to do the final touches, and a lot of times I know I'm anxious to get to the end of it, and well, you have to get through the middle or the start of it to get to the end of it. So it's the way it goes with anything. Just like when you start your shift at work, you have to have a start, you got to have a middle, and you got to have an ending. So it's just the same thing with anything with a painting. You can't just do the final touches and then that's it. You're done. No. But then it wouldn't be as fun, though. I honestly feel that the whole process of doing art or doing painting is fun. It's relaxing. It's it's inspiring. Whatever you decide to do. So hopefully I'm trying to give you that little spark of inspiration to kind of make you feel comfortable to try your own. If you don't have the materials at home, just try the best you can with what you got. I mean, if you got a pencil, paper, you could do the same. And just because I'm not a fan of, for myself, or I just don't have the patience for pencil and paper, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just that I just don't have, or the interest in that as much. But if I really practiced and applied myself, I'm sure I could improve and do a lot better on the pencil, paper, or ink, pen and ink, or whatever, art. So it's just that I find that this is where I'm most comfortable at, is in watercolor. So, and why? I don't know. I just do. Some people might, why you choose watercolor? Well, I don't know. There's something about it. You start getting interested in it, and before you know it, you find what it can do for you. Kind of look at it as a mutual thing, because you're doing something for yourself, but then at the same time, or you say you're doing something, project for somebody and everything, but then at the same time you're going to be the one very benefited from it too, because you're going to be able to do that, experience that, doing that drawing or that painting. So I apologize, I've just started yapping away about other things, and I haven't really talked to you about what I'm doing. So really what I was doing is filling in the blue of the ocean scene, the water. It's those little things are kind of tedious and necessary. And then I'm going to go over across the ocean, the sky scene again. Real light. I just like to take a little bit of more water versus paint. I'm pulling almost a little purple, a little bit of blue, light blue, different colors of blue. Like I said, I couldn't tell you exactly what color blue because I mix everything up on my palette. It's just pretty much the way I work. So. And something I wanted to really mention yesterday that I said don't work from a photograph. I do have worked from photographs before. I just I started listening back to what I was talking about, and I just want to say I don't have any, I'm not opposed to working with photographs. It's just that, you know, my own photographs or something that I have the license to paint from, you know, permission, but I have worked from photographs. If you look at my website, a lot of them were done from photographs, my earlier works or my flower scenes and stuff. So I'm just talking about my lighthouses. Like pretty much all of them are not. I haven't took any pictures of a lighthouse. I haven't really gone out and you know, took some photos of that. So these are all kind of out of my head. These are out of my head, and I just want to create an environment, you know, I guess in my paintings, whether it's a smaller scale with my bookmarks or just you know, like in like this one in general, you want to get that feeling, that mood, and it doesn't happen right away. It just doesn't happen when you put like, because I could sit there and cover this whole thing with blue, but then at the same time I'm going to lose whatever feeling that I'm going to get from it. So I'm kind of planning it out. I'm choosing how I'm doing my lines. I'm not just putting it out there and not caring about what I'm doing. I'm really thinking about it. And I never really thought about it, you know, until I started like telling you what I'm doing, and I go, yeah, that I have to put some thought into this. You know, you just don't do it. And, I'm adding another side. I'm being careful again not to go too much shadow, but I really like that, the way it looks. It gives that 3D effect. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're not just out there throwing paint anywhere or just not really thinking about what you're doing. You should really consider how you want to create your, you know, whatever you're creating. In this case, it's sorry about all the noise here. Moving my trays of paint. You got to really think about where you want to put things, you know. And sometimes you're not really gonna make maybe the right decision. I don't want to say the right decisions. I mean, I don't know if there's really a wrong decision exactly, but just do the best you can. I'm pulling a little more brown from here because it's near the ocean, so that the water obviously will have, as it's going upon the ocean, a beach here will be kind of wet, so you almost have a darker tones because it's still the wet sand on there. So that's what I'm trying to get, that impression. It kind of has, it's really neat how that happens, because when you, like I said, you don't really know exactly where you're going with the painting until you start doing these little elements, and then it's like, oh, I like this. It's leading up to there, and it's giving that little perspective, and it's making it from a flat painting to a more, you know, you have depth, and almost as if you can just step right in, and if that's your goal. If you can create a piece, a painting where you can make somebody feel like they could just step right into that world, that landscape. It gives that person that, when they view it, that sense of, man, I want to be there. That's, you know, whether you make a sale or you don't, you made somebody feel, when they view your painting, it's like, wow, they stepped into that world that you created. And don't worry about if your colors kind of blend together, especially if you have yellows or blues. A lot of times you're going to have blues go into your, lighter. You can fix those things. Those things are not, like, beyond. It's kind of rare. I mean, honestly, I feel with watercolor, it's not as challenging as some people would make it out to be. It is challenging, yes. It is a little bit. But once you kind of figure it out or find your own way to do it, then you're kind of, say, find your own success in what you're doing, then you're really going to enjoy it. So we're going to add a little bit over here to this. This is kind of a bigger brush that I want to do, but let's try it. It's a little risky there, but it's fine because if it goes onto the blue right here, it's not going to really change anything. So I'm going to make sure I get a little bit of a. There you go. Well, not quite what I wanted to do. Okay. So you can pull off the paint there. So let me go with a thinner brush. That's it's such a depth spot. It's such a tight spot there to put that paint into. It might be kind of wet already, so it should be alright. I'm trying to make sure I leave enough white in there so it's reflective. So there you go. So you can get that little with that glass, the lighthouse glass to be reflected on there, and maybe here on the window. Again, that's a little bit solid. I didn't want to go as solid with that one. So I'm going to be making the. I should have it already pre-made, I guess, the black or the Payne's gray or dark blue that I was working with, but I don't. I did notice it was slightly, if you're looking at it, I'm looking at it, I can see it's a little bit, that's what I'm trying to work on right now. You can try to adjust that. So it might have come off just a little bit at an angle. But you can correct those lines. Now here, it may be a little harder to come by, but because you don't want to have a sharp line right here because it's not going to look really correct, when you do that. Because you don't really want a sharp line there because that's still that color. So you know what I mean? It would look like somebody just took a pen or drawn it out. So. But in that case, I don't think it's that much to worry about, but I'm just showing you one thing you can do. If you are kind of worried about it, just take a little bit of the blue. Then just, I'm going to just try to actually add to the texture of the painting, so. I don't know if this is going to pull this off actually, but I think it'll work. Just want to I'm trying to soften the lines a little bit here, and then that way make it a little straighter. And you put a little bit of blue here. So basically what I'm trying to do is straighten the line a little bit. And hopefully I haven't So basically what I've done is that you noticed I just straightened it out a little bit. I wouldn't obviously recommend that too much to do that, but I just want to show you how you can go about doing that. It's a little risky because you're changing your sky around a little bit, but it's fine because I wanted that little bit of a cloudy look there. And give it time for the sky to dry, and then it can kind of blend it out, and it won't really change too much from the sky. So I'll add a little bit more, but I just want to show you how you can, if you felt like it needed to be straightened out a little bit, and I felt like it did. So just one of those things when you're drawing. So at the same time, I'm not only just drawing, I'm also doing a instructional kind of thing where you're following along with what I'm doing. So a lot of times I would be really, into painting or drawing, and I would actually really be turning the paper around a lot, moving it around, adjusting it to where, where I need to have it. And you can't really, be a little harder to do that when I'm on film, when I'm doing that. So I can't sit there and manipulate the paper as I wanted to do so. So I want to have some rocks in here. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to make some brown. So what I do is I pull a little bit of red, I pull some yellow, and I pull a little bit of blue. So then we have those three colors. So you just kind of mix them around. I don't know if you can see that happening right now, but you mix it around and you find what blue you're happy with. So brown, sorry. Okay. Now, again, I kind of drew over here, so you're not exactly going to have the light of the paper. That's okay. So I'm kind of adding in the rocks more like they're darker in there, so then you can add that little detail. So basically what I'm trying to do is get a little sense of perspective. So you want to, when you're drawing this is further up, this will be smaller, and then this will be a little closer up, the rock will be a little bigger, and then you have that perspective of it getting closer to you. So, like I said, I do move around, and when I'm painting, I don't like to go in one place all the time, so. And sometimes I notice that I'm talking, I don't finish my sentences either. I apologize for that if I do that. I might do that quite often. I start something and then you guys are going, what is he trying to say? What? I don't mean to do that. I'm kind of like focused or in the middle of doing my work here, and then before you know it, I've lost track of what I'm talking about. But okay, I did use a little bit more wet than a little bit, not more wet, a little bit wetter than I wanted to do. So here, it's a matter of control. I mean, literally something like that, I would probably be freaked out from before, because you kind of lose control when you have that much water on the brush. I'm just trying to add little elements to the painting, a little decoration, little flourishes, to add to the characteristics of the lighthouse and the house here. Now again, when I have it wet like that, you got to be very careful. A lot of it can bleed over. It's kind of a challenge to work it around that. So, but I still want to keep some of the light. You notice there, so that has a reflection. Later on, you perhaps can go over it with a little bit of white paint, but I've heard, or read or heard that, too much white paint on the watercolor is kind of frowned upon. And maybe it is. I have used it at times, but a good portion of my work has not been with any white paint at all. So, but I do want to give certain effects from it, so I do use it time when I need it. Okay, so we're coming along. I think it's pretty happy with us so far. Like I said, once I get started on this painting, but I'm also on a kind of a little bit of time frame too today because I have some things, work to do and stuff. So I would love to be here all day painting. I would love it. You guys, I don't know if you want to stay 24 hours with me painting. No, just kidding. No, but I mean, really, it could really just be that addicting to enjoy. You just start getting in that mode to paint. All right. So again, it's all kind of forming. I'm just showing you where I'm going about with it, and so I'm gonna add a little more waves here. I'm trying to be careful to leave the white of the paper, you want to see the waves. And obviously, I think one of the things it's easy to mess up is with blue, with water, ocean scenes. You just get so much going on, and you want to do so much color. You want to do so much to it. You can there's a chance of overworking it, and you got to be careful with blue because it can be. It's a wonderful color, but it's also I noticed that the pigments in blue is quite staining. It can stain the paper. It could really you really cannot take it off very easily if you do at all. So once you have it on there, it's pretty much, depends on how much you put on there. So if you put a little light like this one in here, I could probably pull that off pretty quickly. But if I was over here, I don't think I can pull that off. That's pretty much there. That's that, you have that set. So well, sorry about that. That was my alarm for my timer. But I believe we're going to call it quits today, I guess. But thank you for joining me, and I just hope that you were instructed, you felt like you're getting something out of this every time you watch it. I feel like you obviously want to go further. I can literally, like I said, spend all day just doing this painting, but obviously you got things. People got things to do, and so. But if you give it a try, give it a go at it. I hope you're gonna. It's going to take a little challenge. It's a little challenging. Learn to be patient with yourself, and you can always do something over again if you have a lot of paper, if you bought some artist grade papers, or even if you bought some more expensive papers to use it. Just so again, we accomplished some of it. We did the ocean, we did more of the lighthouse. I showed you how to fix this if you needed to fix it. Went into the the wave scenes. So we're going to go further on later next time we go in here, finishing here the ocean, this here, and trying to add some more interest in the foreground, and maybe pulling some more color, maybe some more yellows in here. I don't know yet. I don't want to go too yellow. I think this is pretty good the way it is, but I want that sense of that feeling, the depth, the rolling hills. So right now it's getting there, but I mean, you'll know when it feels like you're going to get there when you add the more colors to it. I might fill in the blues more. I know I have this kind of going on, but I also have this here, so there's a little bit of difference of clouds going on, but I think we're getting there. We're getting there very close. So however your progress is, if you are following along and you want to do this, I encourage you, and just keep it up, and keep trying. That's all I can say, and just keep painting. And thank you for joining me on the spot. Have a good day.